has been taken from you enough that the suppression, voter suppression that has been alleged, the violence and everything that happened on Saturday was enough to sway the votes in your direction. So do you have enough evidence to do so? Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Well, let me again say it. We are not yet in court. That is why the court exists. And they've asked me to go to court. And I want to go to court. I don't want to answer questions on my way to court. I want to go to court.
Okay. Okay. All right, come. I wanted to travel this way, but I see you are... Okay.
My name is Omar Bazwai and I report for Arise TV, sorry. I just want to ask you, because you told us some moments ago that you have been having series of meeting with a lot of people, people from the international community, and maybe back home here in Nigeria. Do you feel like you are under any pressure from anywhere?
Not at all. I can tell you, nobody will ever put me under pressure when I challenge misconduct, rascality, or illegal process. Because it's not about it's not about, you can't, how do you put the person who is doing kidnapping under pressure? We challenge what is wrong. It is not about me, it's not about you, it's not about it's about society our children will live in. And I want people to understand that. I'm challenging a process that is fault, a process that is wrong. It could be anybody. It is not about anything. So there's no pressure. Nobody else. Okay. And they know they will not.
Okay, the lady at the back here. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rena Obozegi. I work for Dark Communications AIT. So I want to ask you, how are you engaging the international communities on the outcome of the elections?
Thank you very much. Now the AIT, not former AIT.
Well, frankly, unless an invitation, not engaging any international community or international body, because I feel this is a Nigerian problem. And this is time we have to start solving our problem. Elections have been conducted in all parts of Africa. And nobody have ever seen something near what we're going through here. So I'm not consulting anybody.
Okay.
Good day, sir. My name is Niyo Mani. I represent and correspondent for News Central. I know you've recorded a lot of success rates when you go to court. I'm not trying to be an antagonist, but if you eventually go to court and it remains the same, that the mandate is given to your opponent, what will you do? Secondly, we've seen a lot of visuals around about youth destroying their PVCs. What word do you have to these youth who you somewhat represent their demographic?
Well, I'm still going to go around appealing to the youth. This is a long distance journey. And you have to know, I'm committed to going through this journey with them. It's not going to be a one-day journey. No matter how long the night is, they will be there. I'm not going to show them that I will be there. We have to go through darkness. go through this with them because I know we're not going to ask these people to live easily. That's why they're there. That's why that structured criminality can't go overnight. That structured destruction can't go overnight. Structure that has created 133 million people living in dimensional poverty can't go out overnight. Structure that has created 95 million people living under absolute poverty can't go out overnight. Structure that have created over 20 million out of school children can't go out overnight. All we need to show is commitment, resilience, like use all the resources we can, all our energy, everything. All I assure them that I'm not going away. I'll be at the forefront. We will walk through this darkness until day break. It's something. I know the court will do the right thing. Their children are involved. The future of their children are involved. I had an experience today, just today, that I told my chairman, I choose whenever I meet a young person, I want to know what that young person does. So you see me every day talking to young people. So just this morning, I went somewhere with the chairman, and a young lady was to boil water for me to make tea. I said, I will do it. He said she will do it. She was excited to do it. She was worried, and she said to me, she was almost in tears, I lost the election. And I said, so what's your name? She said she's there. Called her name. I said, so who are you? She said she was from Nasarawa. So I said, where do you go to school? She said she went to University of Nasarawa. I said, so what do you do? She said she has no job. She graduated since 2018. I said, so what are you trying to do? She told me she's learned how to do baking. So why are you not baking instead of being here to do this? She said she doesn't have 75,000 naira to buy an oven.
Okay, so many people at the back there. So what I'm going to do is...
That's the life you get in Nigeria every day. People who don't have money to buy enough.
Okay, so those at the back, I recognize two people from the back so that you can, because of the time it takes you to move, you be coming, let me call someone here while you are coming.
Good morning, Your Excellency. My name is Dixon Iwebu. I anchor Nigeria right now on AIT. With the gloomy picture that is out there in our society today, with the rot in the political space, where do you get your inspiration and your strength from? Nigerians want to know, please.
I get my inspiration, Dixon, from the young girl who doesn't have 75,000 naira to buy an oven. When people like me can sit down in a place and drink a bottle of wine that is costing that amount in the same country. When people like me have stolen billions of public money, that would have bought an oven for that young graduate. So that's where you get your inspiration. I said I want to build a new Nigeria, where those youths will have hope, where there will be a future for them. But I can't build it, Dixon, unless I do the right things, so that they can emulate how to do the right things. We cannot do it. We have to teach them how to do the right thing. Dixon, I have an opportunity to do what other people are doing. And you've seen it from my corporate world, where I chaired corporations, including Security and Exchange Commission, to my being governor of a state. I had the opportunity to do what other people are doing, but I didn't do it. Because we have to live and show an example. And use the resources of the country, public resources, for public good. And ask those who are who had the opportunity of doing the right thing for the country to do the right thing. If we have a security man, he should do his job. If we have somebody to conduct election, I've been an observer of election in some of the West African countries. It wasn't anything near this. Is this what we spend billions to do? Hey, what a minute. We should have used that billions to do something else and announce what we announced. Because this young girl would have had an awful, and then we'll do the announcement.
Okay. All right, quickly. I hope you are not AIT.
Kamala is my name. I work with TV3 in Ghana. You said that you are going to court. One, what are the release that you are seeking? Then two, the ECOWAS and Africa Union observer missions have described this election as generally fair. Do you ascribe to the suggestions or the reports describing the elections as generally fair?
Okay. Thank you.
Well, let me tell you, throughout my comments, I didn't want to mention comments of observers, because if you choose it, there's so many other observers like European Union, EU, NRI, and so many who have said it did not meet the standards, who have said it's rigged, who have said this. So let's not talk about what the observers are saying. Let's look at what Nigerians are saying. This is essentially a Nigerian problem, and I want to hear Nigerians. With all due respect to those who are visiting, it's a Nigerian problem. I'm talking about what Nigerians feel. You're from Ghana. Is this fair in Ghana? Because you have, yeah. Just say, tell me, is this fair in Ghana?
It depends on what you describe it as fair.
I just asked you a question. It is not, my brother, I've been to your country and I've witnessed the election. The earlier we start saying things are wrong when it's wrong, my brother, Africa will be good. It doesn't matter to me because it happened here. Don't be part of that. Africa needs to be fixed. And we all have to tell ourselves the truth. This is very unfair. It's the least expected of us.
The
other question you asked about going to court, I've told you, I cannot answer until I get to where I was asked to go. If I was asking a question that you're asking me here as I was coming here, I was coming here to see journalists and answer their questions. That's what I'm doing now.
Okay. Now, the last two. Just come. The lady who's calling me, come out. Okay.
Your Excellency, good afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kingsley of the Daily Independent newspapers. I wouldn't want to throw a popular path now. My question to you would be, Nigeria has seen a lot, from the violence in the northeast to the killings in some other parts of the country in the south. If, for the sake of peace, the person and the party that was declared to be the winner approaches you for a unity government, for the sake of peace, don't you think also should be shaped and without the path of peace?
Let me say it again for purposes of your understanding. I have never If you remember when I made my general comments, where's it? Please come, I want to be looking at you. Listen very carefully. When I made my general comment, if you recall, I did ask for people to go about peacefully. Since after the election, I've never done anything to show that I don't want peace. I believe in a very peaceful Nigeria. I've had several phone calls where I asked people to remain calm and peaceful. That has nothing to do with what I'm challenging. I'm challenging the process. If the process is faulty, it's faulty. In fact, you can't build peace on a faulty foundation. It's never happened to anyone in the world. You have to deal for peace to prevent. And that is what the foundation is, what I'm challenging. And I'm pleading with you. It's not about me, it's not about you. It's about the future of the society, our children and future generations will live in. It has to be built on foundation of honesty, transparency, justice, fairness. We went into election where somebody said and promised and shouted, this is the route we are going to go. This is how we are going to go there. And we followed the track. All of us. Suddenly, in that long distance journey. And it wasn't one day, and it wasn't quick. It lasted for over 1 year. And all of us toed that line. Followed it. And suddenly, as we get to the end of it, somebody jumped from somewhere and claimed the prize. What did you do? At that stage, my brother, it's not about peace. There's a process of being anything you want to be. If you want to be a professor, you must go and be a lecturer, practices, and you are proved to be a professor. If you want to be a doctor, you go and read medicine. You cannot suddenly, from being a lawyer, and you say conferred a doctorate degree. No. Lawyers go through law school. I can't be a lawyer. I cannot be a advocate today, no matter my knowledge of the law, because the process is important, my brother. That's what makes a society. In this society, we have seen people suddenly become a senior advocate without going to law school. That's what we want to stop. Orderliness, rule of law. That's what makes a society.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I think in the interest of time, you have a whole lot of things to do, and I'll call it, yes. I asked her to come because I know how you feel about young people. I wanted her to ask the question, but she got tired standing and she went back. Do you still want to ask your question? Okay. So, hello? Okay, you can come now. Please come.
So my name is Josephine from Channels TV. So I wanted to ask, what are your advices on the youth? What are your advices on the youth at PETERS, because they believe their votes don't count? So are you telling them to come out to vote in governorship?
Thank you.
My sister, I insisted because when I saw these are the people who have put their faith in us. Be assured. Believe me as an elder brother. Believe me as a father. Believe me that this journey, I am totally committed to it. And I'll walk through with you. I know how disillusioned you are. Don't be. Because the people we're dealing with have made up their mind that we won't succeed. We have also made up our mind that we will succeed. And I assure you that the will, our will, is bigger than that. The God we worship will see us through, because you know we're doing the right thing. So let me reemphasize. Go out massively on Saturday. Vote for the right persons. Vote for Labour Party. We are committed to this. I know it is not as easy as I say it, because you're feeling, people see me now on the road. I was just telling somebody on my right that I've never had a position where I feel emotional, cried. But and I see people all over the place, and young people, and they're crying and telling me, I'm going to leave this country. I can no longer stay. And I feel the pain. Just like I said, the young girl was crying today as she was trying to boil water and everything. But I'm preaching to all of them, please stay. I'm not going to go away. I'm going to stay with you. And I assure you, we will overcome. They won't be there when the day comes, but we will be there.
So another round of applause for our presidential candidate. Your Excellency, thank you for coming. And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you coming. Thank you very much. The press conference is now over. May we sing the national anthem. Arise, O compatriots.
Leaders of the party, Alhaji Muhammad Ibrahim Biu, the Deputy National Chair, National Secretary, the National Legal Advisor, Barrister Abimbola Aderemi, the National Welfare Secretary, Ambassador Judith Shaw, the National Speaker of the Parliament, Honorable Chikuma Bona. While waiting for the National Secretary to join us, distinguished members of the Fourth Estate of Durham, we welcome you and all great Nigerians present here to this Deputy National Legal Advisor, Dr. Oluwagunloyesa, the National Secretary of our great party. We welcome you. And it's my pleasure to welcome all of us to this very important occasion, which is a work press conference by our great party, the Social Democratic Party, on the 2023 presidential and national assembly elections that took place on Saturday, February 25th, 2023. This press conference is called to essentially state the position of the party on the outcome and to make our position known to Nigerians on going forward for the purpose of democratic consolidation and building national unity and ensuring we have peace in our nation, Nigeria. It's on this note that I have the singular honor of inviting His Excellency, the National Chair of the Party, Alhaji Seun Musa Gaban Makaman Tilde, to brief the press. Your Excellency, sir. Please, a round of applause for our chairman.
Please, can we have 1-minute prayer for all those that lost their life during this election. May their soul rest in peace. Thank you. Our National Secretary of our party, Dr. Oluwagule, the National Working Committee members here, the great men and women of our press. Let me start by thanking the press for their patriotic position, for any Nigerians that have listened to the comments and the way and the manner the media have covered the election. It shows the commitment of the Nigerian press to the Nigerian nation. And I want to urge all of us to appreciate the fact that this is the only country that we have. No matter how we differed, we have one precious country called Nigeria. On this note, I want to start by thanking the Nigerian media by moderating the feelings of Nigerians, assuaging them, appealing to them to believe in their country. I want to thank the media for this commitment. And number two, I want to also express our gratitude to the Nigerian security agencies. Despite a very tight situation in the country, the insecurity in the country, this currency saga, the fuel scarcity, they have done fairly very well. Even though there are few security personnel that have compromised, based on the facts and the video clips that we have seen, they remain aloof while the breach was ongoing. We condemn those security personnel, but on the overall, we must thank security agencies for doing the very best given the challenges they have in maintaining law and order. There's no doubt that this election have generated controversy more than any election in the history of Nigeria. Given our circumstances, the assurances of the perfection of beaver system, the assurances of live transmission from result from the polling units. We know that INEC as an institution, we maintain this position. Before this election, have convinced virtually every Nigerian that their vote is going to count. Based on that, we as political parties, we campaign strongly on the credibility of the beaver system. We told all Nigerians to go out and cast their votes, and their votes will count. And number two, INEC, I have always said, they are not independent as being called. They are interdependent. INEC relies strongly on the conducive environment for them to conduct election. And the other components that ought to provide those environments are the executive arm of the government who have vested interest also in this election. And therefore, given the challenges at hand, we can say that, yes, there are a lot of failures of the beaver system in so many places. And based on also different sources, INEC system was overhacked. We also had different audios emanating from different quarters, suggesting actors, participants in this election, planning how to hack the system to ensure that this election do not take place. If you look at the totality of the conspiracy, against our own system, we Nigerians, by Nigerians, it calls for sober reflection. The biggest challenge of Nigeria of today is not really the leadership, it's also the followership. The followership are the ones that have been impoverished, weaponized, poverty being weaponized. Sadly, at every polling unit recorded, you can see people distributing rice, spaghetti, Indomie, Omo, buying the conscience of people that have been impoverished. And I thought that we have learned lessons as citizens. We have developed independent mindset to go for individuals that are credible, that have record of service to the country. Unfortunately, it appears that Nigerians are still in the process of learning how to be independent in terms of determining their votes. It's very sad indeed. Thirdly, let me thank those who trusted SDP, casted their vote for SDP. We are part of the history making. We have produced 2 senators, 5 House of Reps so far, 1 from Rivers, 4 from Nasarawa, 2 senators from Nasarawa states. I think the media attacked SDP as SDP revolution. And indeed, if the beavers have worked and transmission was made without any interruption, SDP would have produced a lot of people, and we are still contesting a lot of positions in the court. We have our facts being collected, senators that we have won, reps that we have won, that we are being converted. We are also challenging those in the court. I just listened to one of the presidential candidates, His Excellency Peter Obi. I want to thank him for believing in the judicial system of Nigeria. He has demonstrated commitment and patriotism by saying that our election is an internal affairs of Nigeria. I must trust our court system, no matter what it takes, because this is the only country that we have. We are governed by laws. Let us trust and continue to strengthen our laws. I also want to remind him that no matter what, he had made history. President Muhammadu Buhari contested election 3 to 4 times before winning the election. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, probably this will be his last contest. He have, based on declaration of INEC, he has not won the election. And according to the sources, he's also going to court. And that brings me to the point that our judicial system will be on the test of credibility. The judiciary have a duty to prove to the world and to the Nigeria that they will be fair and just, because we are all citizens of Nigeria. Our laws must work irrespective of vested interest. If our commitment is to build a vibrant nation where nobody can be discriminated upon, I'm calling on our justice system to be fair and just to the entire segments of political parties that are going to court seeking for redress of what happened. I also want to thank the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar for not making utterances that are provocative and that will create problem for the country. It shows that no matter how we differed, we believe in one Nigeria, and we continue to believe in one Nigeria, irrespective of our differences. The INEC, as an institution vested with the power of conducting election, have declared a winner. We in SDP, despite the shortfall, as I've mentioned, beavers problem, transmission problem, we stand by the declaration pending the outcome of the court judgment. We need to keep Nigeria one. God have not created perfection anywhere. On this ground, we are standing by what INEC have done, and we are recommending to all those, including we in SDP, that disagreed to challenge it in the court of law. Let me go straight to the address. Peaceful, successful National Assembly elections that took place on Saturday, February 25th, and His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress candidate for winning the contested presidential election. We also salute the good showing of the front-runners and all the presidential candidates in the election for putting themselves forward to serve the country, for making the contest to be very competitive. The party celebrates our own presidential candidates, His Excellency Prince Wale Adebayo. Most of you have seen what he have tweeted for taking responsibility, for the party performance. He have taken the good and the bad side of it. For his impressive outing and running and daring issue-based campaign. We also congratulate our revolutionary and distinguished ambassadors in the race who won 2 senatorial seats, 5 houses of assembly. We are also expecting 5 houses of assembly. We are expecting from Taraba, from all our sources, we won 1 Senate, 1 House of Reps as well. Adamawa the same, we have 1 House of Reps. Rivers, we have 1 more. We are waiting and we are collecting the fact like I have mentioned. In Kwara, same. In virtually all our strongholds, we have won some Senate and House of Reps. So we are putting every item together. We will not leave any gap. Because from our outing so far, it shows that we are among the leading party from ground zero to this position that we are. And I think SDP have showcased its sincerity of purpose. A day to the election, there have been propaganda all over the place, non-SDP members claiming leadership of party, endorsing one candidate or the other. I was forced to issue a clearance that SDP did not go into any alliance whatsoever with any political party. Under my leadership, we will not compromise this party for an inch. I was part of those who started PDP from G7, 7 members when we started PDP, from G7. And we mobilized the country, we won election, we produced President Obasanjo as the president of Nigeria. It's a matter of the quality of people that you brought on board. And you are going to win. Nobody have monopoly of anything. So in SDP, we'll continue to stand with our candidates that have been campaigning, spending their time and resources across the land and breadth of Nigeria. In this upcoming election for governorship, we are standing by all our gubernatorial candidates, all our state assembly candidates for this election. And we urge all SDP card-carrying members, sympathizers, supporters to vote for SDP nationwide. We are not in alliance in any state of the Federation. We are standing by our candidates. The 2023 presidential election turned out with the most unique outcome considering the national spreads and some equal numbers of states won by 3 candidates. It also showcased that in Lagos State, for instance, Bola Tinubu lost Lagos State. He conceded to that defeat. It also defined humility. Otherwise, he has the capacity to create problems in Lagos State. But he said, no, I'm collecting and accepting my destiny. In Kano State, the sitting governor was defeated. In Kaduna, the sitting governor was defeated. In most of the so far, I think about 7 or 8 sitting governors lost their seats. it shows some sort of balance. And in all those, you can see that people are now coming to reality. They are now facing the facts. They are facing their oppressors. And it shows clearly that it is a division in the opposition parties that allow APC to win the election. We have mentioned this severally, that parties, opposition parties should work together, define a terms of reference of government of national unity. That would have given us the advantage to win this election without any dispute whatsoever. But because of our ego problem, we are unable to find the way forward. And of course, an incumbency use every material available to them to their advantage to win the election. So the opposition party should take responsibility for dividing the minds of Nigerians, that led us to where we are today. Because if you look at the figures, if the parties have come together, we would have probably produced a different person based on INEC declaration of the winner. So it's a lesson to all the political parties to learn to work together, accept superior issues, keep aside sentiments and emotions, so that we can change the kind of terrible situation Nigerians are going through. Our educational system has collapsed, the health sector has collapsed, virtually everything is on its knees. The transport sector has collapsed. When I was going to Bauchi, I was scared. I was even thinking of returning back to Abuja. The roads were empty. People are feeling, worried. The same thing when I was coming back yesterday. The Abuja, Jos, Bauchi, Northeast Road is a very busy road. You can see scanty of cars on the roads. In all the towns, it turned out like a ghost town. People were inside. They refused to come out. They are scared. They don't know what is going to happen. So we are responsible for this, and leaders must take responsibility. We must protect this country. And I hope that INEC have learned their lessons, terribly battered, that in the next governorship election, they will ensure that the system functions. There should be no excuses anymore. We have raised this issue severally, that once the beaver system credibility is being questioned, that our democracy is in danger. You can imagine that a country that have registered voters of over 90 million, less than 10 million votes, 8 million votes produce a president of Nigeria. How do you define legitimacy in such a system? Over 90 million registered voters. 8 million, over 8 million declared votes won the presidency. The voters' apathy were unprecedented. Absolutely unprecedented. This is what we were scared of. So when the beaver system came on board, we campaigned vigorously to support the beaver machines that votes are going to count. But based on what we have seen, it means that we need to do more, INEC need to do more, INEC need to adjust. They need to do internal check-ins and make sure they punish those who compromise the process as a deterrent. They must be fished out and they must be punished. There are video clips going on. Security agencies must investigate and punish those culpable for letting us where we are today, despite billions of naira being sunk, public holiday declared, federal government lost revenue, individual lost revenue for this election. It was sacrificing for, and it was investigating, and it was punishing and deterrence to be created. So we commend INEC under Mahmoud despite the shortfalls, in the first of all votes. The election has been won and lost. Going forward, therefore, and what is right in the true interest of our country is for all grievances to be expressed through the appropriate channel and very responsibly. Our party believes strongly in the nation justice system capable of addressing various concerns expressed, and for it to always do justice. We also note that democratic consolidation for national unity and sustainable growth and development It is the imperative of the times. As such, the SDP called for political class and general public to eschew violence in their actions and pronouncements. And in the larger interest of our country, we call on President-elect in his strategic consideration to take deliberate and practical steps in uniting the country by pulling human assets, bringing the country together through a government of national unity to fix our obvious national crack, addressing the failing and heal the land and fast-track the process of national reconciliation. We submit that Nigeria is the only country and heritage that we have, and we all owe it a duty to ourselves and our posterity to protect the union and promote its stability. This is wishing our beloved country well as we open a new chapter in the annals of our political history. We strongly believe, like I've said, in the judicial system. We believe the system is not perfect, it wasn't correct. We believe INEC needs to go back to the drawing board. We also believe the political actors must stop using religious sentiments. Rumors are all over the place. Religious centers have collected billions of naira. Allegations of companies giving billions of naira to individuals. And we have also had pronouncements from all the religious leaders, both Muslims and Christians, taking sides. This is not what we wish to see in Nigeria. We wish to see our unity in our diversity to strengthen our democracy. Religious leaders is to preach for peace and unity for all of us to work together as a nation. If Nigeria is not peaceful, there is no religious leader that can go out and preach. We cannot hold this press conference. And therefore, the uppermost in our mindset is the unity and the stability of Nigeria. Any other thing is secondary. We have seen how kidnappers have disrupted our peace, our prosperity. We have seen how people have been massacred, families conniving for their fathers, mothers to be kidnapped, brothers for ransom. We have seen how homogeneous people are killing their own people in the southeast, in the northwest. It has never happened in Nigeria before. And simply because there was a failure of leadership. And President Muhammad Buhari must take responsibility that he has failed in keeping Nigeria one. He has failed in keeping the unity of Nigeria. He must take responsibility as a leader. Because that currency decision was a very wrong one at the wrong time when we were facing election. There was no moral, economic, political justification or social justification for that decision. We have made our position known in the SDP. We disagree with that. And we said it will produce bad instead of good. And we have vindicated because it tempered with INEC processes. So many people testify that they trek from their home to the polling unit centers. And they trek back home. And because of failures of beaver system in some areas, they couldn't even vote despite the fact they trek. This is very bad. It's very sad for the country that we cannot produce a conducive environment for people to exercise their franchise. It's a shame. From independence till today, the country has produced grandchildren. We are yet to produce a system that will be acceptable to all of us. This is a bipartisan position that we are talking about. Nigeria must function, must work. And finally, I'm calling on all the presidential candidates. By the result declared, SDP is number 6, and we produce senators, House of Reps. We are looking forward, by the grace of God, based on opinion of people, to produce governors, state assembly members. So we will be part of a decision-making in Nigeria. We will be part of amendment that will make the life of Nigerians better. And we will know that we will be accountable to Nigerians. If we do not produce anybody, then we'll say that probably we have no stake. As it is now, we have produced senators, we have produced House of Reps, we are likely to produce governors and state assembly, and therefore we will be accountable to Nigerians because some Nigerians trusted the party and elected this party. Finally, I want to once again thank the press for your loyalty and service to Nigeria. Please keep it on. No matter how difficult it is, how we are divided, no matter how politicians want to divide us, no matter how people in government want to use us for their interest, and yet none of the ministers ever resigned because there was no light, no electricity, no road to his community. It's a conspiracy of the elite at the highest order, why the innocent Nigerians continue to be victims, and they continue to use innocent Nigerians as a sacrifice, for their own personal interest. The media should continue to protect this country. The media is at the forefront of keeping Nigeria together. Please keep it up, no matter how temptuous it is to divide us. We need to move Nigeria forward. You should follow every issue thoroughly. You should follow every inch of investigation. By your profession, you are to investigate the rights and the wrongs. Please let us do it in the interest of Nigeria. Whosoever our judicial system have pronounced will stand by that person. And therefore, for the purpose of stability, for the law to prevail, we are standing, like I've said, by what INEC have declared so far. And we are also going to court. And I respect Peter Obi for saying that he will go to court. We supported him to go to court. We supported whoever disagreed to go to court, because this is the only way we can strengthen the fundamental pillars of democracy. This is the only way, no any other way. We are not military personnel that will stage a coup. The only period of coup in the democratic dispensation is on election day. That is when voters can go to vote and vote against anybody who did not do what he's supposed to do in his own position. Largely, there's a failure of discharging that right based on people compromise their conscience. And we will see worst of it, except if whoever, now based on the declaration of INEC, President-elect Bola Tinubu decided to go on reconciliation, sense of unity, form a government that will bring this country together, reduce the rancor, create jobs, take care of our hospitals. I hope he will stop going to abroad for medical checkups. He will build a referral or equip a referral hospital in Nigeria that we will be doing his medical checkup, so that we can show that we believe in our country, we believe in our system, we believe in our personnel. Unfortunately, most of the best hospitals in the world they go to, they meet Nigerians there, treating them, which means that we should be ashamed of ourselves, that we have the manpower to do what is right, but we compromise it. You can see governors converting money of the state into their personal pockets. And I urge states that voted against their governors to continue to vote against them. Unless we drive this revolution, the governors would continue with this imperialist tendency, converting money meant for citizens of the state into their personal pocket. We must continue with this revolution to change Nigeria. The poverty level is unacceptable. It is completely unacceptable. On this note, I want to thank you once again for coming, for standing with SDP at all times. I can say this without any contradiction, that the media have been so friendly to SDP. Anytime we extend our invitation, you will be here. We remain very grateful for your patronage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency, for this very beautiful presentation.
Any questions?
So we're going to
There's the lady there has her hand first.
So we tell us in the
AIT.
And the organization we represent, and just make it simple and straight to the point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and of course, let me say congratulations to the wings, let me say, House of Representatives, of course, and the Senate.
Thank you.
Of course, my name is Funke from AIT. Now, yesterday I covered, since was it Monday, I covered a series of protests in Abuja, of course, at the Coalition Center. And yesterday, some group came called Nigerian Citizens, United Citizens for Democracy, and then they said on behalf of SDP, PDP, NMPP and of course the Labour Party, they are coming out to protest and promise to keep protesting, occupying the INEC offices across the country and of course strategic places in the country. I want to ask, because the Labour Party told me yesterday that they are not part of it. Just what you said when you addressed us earlier, that you're going to seek the court for to contest the outcome of the election. I just want to ask if you support this, because they are insisting that they are still going to continue with this protest. Thank you very much.
Well, as per SDP, we did not issue any directive to any SDP member right from the day of the election to go out and protest peacefully or otherwise, because we were taking stock of what happened. And it is a record that this leadership produced all the candidates in Nigeria. This leadership was the one INEC transacted in terms of all INEC operations of elections. There are a lot of imposers all over the place. I have watched somebody calling himself Johnny Barry, endorsing another party. This is a man that has been expelled by even convention. And this is a man who even went to court, but lacked the patience to wait the outcome of the court. And therefore, we did not participate in any protest whatsoever. We want the unity of Nigeria. Nevertheless, parties or individuals have the right to peaceful protest. Peaceful protest. We will not be part of any violence. We will not be part of calling for anybody to go out and disturb peace and unity of Nigeria. Every individual have the right to peaceful, meaningful, progressive protest. But as it is today, just the way I watched Peter say that he's not part of it, we are not part of it. And security agencies should pick interest on those who want to destabilize Nigeria. We know there are foreign interests as well. The security agencies should be up and doing in investigating those who are calling for protest. That's it, we are not part of it.
Thank you.
Please, okay.
I'm Mercy Ojo Modu, and I stand on an existing protocol. I report for Social Studio. Mr. Chairman, in your speech, you made mention of the INEC Ref portal. If it eventually works, it will bring about change. So would you say, or would you think, if the IREF portal works during the gubernatorial elections, will it change the narrative of INEC and will it restore the credibility of INEC in the future?
I deeply believe so, because the beavers work in some places. And that is why you see incumbent governors have been defeated. If the beavers have not worked, and the returning officers in the states state the reason why most of the polling units affected were cancelled because of overvoting, and there was no accreditation. And the law is clear. Any accreditation and the outcome, of the result of the voters, there was overvoting by 1 vote, that polling unit should be cancelled. So the law is very clear. If you tamper with the ballot box, that polling unit election is cancelled. So based on that, we strongly believe if INEC can do the needful, overhaul what has happened, take stock of what happened, investigate those culpable, punish them, we believe the next batch that will conduct the governorship and state elections will do the needful, because the tyrants has been created. That's our strong belief.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Daily Trust.
Good afternoon, sir. Abbas Juma from Daily Trust. Yes, sir. The chairman, sir. Good afternoon, everybody. You mentioned that the party is standing by the declaration of INEC on one hand. You also said that the party is going to support Peter Obi or any other aggrieved party or candidate.
I didn't say so. Maybe you came late.
No, I was here. It's on record.
Yes, I said, let me clarify myself.
Thank you.
I said we stand by INEC declaration of winner. And I also said I have listened to Peter Obi. I commended him for believing in the judicial system of the country. We support him to go to court and present his facts. And he said that he's getting all his facts together before going to court. That is a rational thing to do by anybody who wants to be president of Nigeria. You must believe in the system that you want to govern, because you have identified the defects and you want to correct them. So if you do not get that, you cannot correct them. And you can correct them also through a judicial system. That's what I have said. So I did not say I'm supporting both of them at the same time.
Thank you, sir. Please, we are not going to take it that way.
Yes, SDP is going to court. I have mentioned this. We have our facts in some states. We won Senate. It was manipulated. We have won more House of Reps. It was manipulated. We are getting our facts together. We'll challenge it in the competent court of the law.
Fair. Please, Tribune. Please make it snappy, then we have...
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Afternoon.
And the National Working Committee, we commend you for your brilliant outing, despite all odds. I want you to clarify to all Nigerians with what you are saying. Are you supporting the president? Are you not contesting the presidential election?
We are not contesting the presidential election outcome of our presidential candidate. We are not contesting that. And I think the presidential candidate himself, in his Twitter handle, have admitted, and have also somehow mentioned that he considered to the person who won the election as declared by INEC. So we are not contesting any presidential outcome as per our presidential candidate. But I've mentioned in clear terms, we will contest the Senate and the House of Reps seats that we know clearly we have won, and we are getting our facts together.
Thank you.
All right. Allow him, please. Allow him. Just allow him. Yes.
Very quickly, sir. My name is Sunday Isua. I write for Leadership newspaper. We believe that SDP had a situation room. Now, can you tell us that the figure SDP got in the election tally with that announced by INEC? Thank you.
Well, I think if you followed my submission, I said that we are going to court, which means that we disagree with most of them, and I've mentioned there are shortfalls in the way and the manner election was conducted. But as a law-abiding party, as law-abiding citizens, the INEC, as an institution established by law, have made the declaration. We stand by that, and we are waiting for further court decisions, for or otherwise. That's our position. Thank you.
Your Excellency, thank you very much for this brilliant presentation. I want to thank every one of us, the media, for coming. And so, we look forward to having more of your time as we move to the next phase of our democratic process. Thank you and God bless. Your Excellency, our national leaders, the leader of the party and all other leaders, we thank you for your time. Thank you so much. That comes us to the end of the press conference. God bless you.